Okay, so I'm gonna make this really brief and really fast because I said I was going to do it before the end of the day got away from me, and I was really moved by the act of kindness that I really wanted to share. So today, at work, I had a community outing with my guys, and as some of you guys know, I work for a company that works with individuals with intellectual disabilities and behavioral health. And some of my guys are some that others aren't able to work with because of their behavioral issues, autistic spectrums, form. Well, we went on a community outing today. Um, we went bowling. I decided to take them somewhere, out of the norm to get them out the house. It was a nice day today, so I kind of wanted them to do something out the house, but something that they would enjoy. Other than we always go to the movies and out to eat, but something different. And when doing things different with people in the community I work with, sometimes it's challenging because you don't know what their reaction or response will be to new things, to the environment. It can be the music playing, it can be anything. If you know your people well, sometimes you know what their triggers are. Sometimes it can be something absolutely the tiniest of something that you wouldn't think would bother them might bother them. I said all that to say we went to the bowling alley today, and upon going, I really did not want to do a community outing today. For whatever reason, it was one of those days where you had to work and you got to be there, so you're there type thing. But once I got there and it was like, okay, a community outing, I wasn't really thrilled. But being who I am, I'm like, okay, we're going to do something fun. If we got to, make it happen, we're going to make it happen. So upon getting there and checking in, getting shoes, we had a little issue at the counter at first because one of my guys wanted to take his shoes off immediately once he was given the new shoes, and I had to explain to him, we'll go down and we'll put our shoes on. So there was a lady that was standing behind us, and she walked up and she said, once we got to our lane, she was like, not everybody can do what we do. And she was like, thank you. And I was like, I appreciate that. Thank you. And she was like, yeah. She was like, I know I work with high schoolers. So I was like, oh, thank you. High schoolers are a little challenging because they're in a weird place where, they're learning the world, new things. They want to be independent. So I totally understand. So we went on to bowl. She went over maybe 2 lanes over from where we were. And she began, to bowl with her husband, and she had a small toddler with her. And we went on about our business, and we were bowling. I was getting my guys, their shoes on. Now I have a coworker with me, but he's an older guy. My coworker's he's a senior. And so a lot of, prompts and directives is kind of, what I do to kind of keep us on track, basically. So they're putting on their shoes, and now it's instruction time. Now it's kind of time to like show them how to bowl or giving them prompts on what to do. Choosing balls. So I had to do a little bit of going to grab, the lighter balls. A couple of lanes over, grabbed a couple of balls that were super light. So one of my guys, he might be, for HIPAA's sake, he's a smaller guy. And I wanted to get things that would help them actually be able to participate in the bowling activity at their own pace and, their capacity. So I got these smaller balls, and we went over and we began to bowl. So I'm telling him, okay, so then I had to go and get a ramp. I got the ramp, which actually, helped out wonderful because he was able to identify if I put the ball on this ramp and I just push it, it goes down the aisle. Okay. So that worked. and there was a young white couple, Caucasian, I'll just say a young couple that was beside us in the next aisle beside us, and they were bowling or whatever, and I guess they were watching the interaction. So as we're wrapping up to actually leave, I had actually asked his girlfriend, I said, would you mind taking a photo of us? A group photo of us? And she was like, not at all. So she took the photo. She took several photos, and she was like, are these fine? I was like, no, whatever you took is fine. It's cool. So as we're kind of, like gathering the shoes and grab my backpack and we're ready to go, the young man taps me on my shoulder. He's like, hey. I'm like, hey, something wrong? And he like, no. He was like, this is for you. And I look at him, and he's handing me $100 bill. And I look at him, and I'm like, no, I can't take that. I don't want to take that. And he was like, no. He was like, this is from one stranger to another. He was like, it's commendable what you do. He was like, and I want to say thank you. He was like, and I'm sure this is not to insult you, because I'm sure there's no price value on what you do. He was like, I just think you probably don't get paid what you're worth for what you do. He said, but I want you to have a good time at some point on me. And I looked at him, I'm like, okay. And he was like, you look puzzled. He was like, thank you. He said it again, thank you. So I said, I appreciate that. And my coworker was standing there. He looked over at me, and he was just like puzzled too, like looking. And we gathered our stuff and we left. And I looked at the money because I had laid it on the seat, and I looked at it. I took a picture of it. That's why I said I would post when I had time, because I was in the middle of taking my guys and leaving, and I didn't want to, go into all of that, because I try to be really attentive to them when we're out and about, because new things and experiences and places sometimes can, create a bigger situation, if that makes sense. I wanted to document that just to say that, sometimes we never know who's watching us. We never know who's watching us. I'm a firm believer that your character will show when nobody's watching. That's when it's important. Not when people are watching, because when people are watching, everybody seems to want to do the right thing or cross all the T's and dot all the I's. But when nobody's watching and that's who you are, that's who you are. But I said that to say that somebody's always watching. And then there's somebody that always appreciates, because I do get that everybody can't do what I do. And people that work in the field I work in, that what we do. You actually have to have compassion for what you do. You have to have empathy, and you have to be able to adjust and adapt to things that might not be what you used to. And I said that only simply because on a day that I did not feel like doing any of this, any of the community outing or anything, it was a reminder of not who we do it for. It's why we do it. Why we do it. So, it was a lesson in that for me. Everything that happens to me, I try to take away something from it, and that was the piece for me today. That it reminded me why I do what I do, and that when people are watching and people want to appreciate you and praise you, sometimes you get so used to being like, oh no, it's not a problem, or it's not a big deal, or thank you. Today reminded me that sometimes it is a big deal, and I am a part of a group of people that still are very much passionate about what we do and advocate for people that can't advocate for themselves. And today I think it kind of felt good after riding home, sitting in that for a minute, that let people appreciate you and accept it. It's okay, accept it. And so today I'm just like, with confidence and not so much cockiness, you know what I mean? It's a win for the team. Like, we on strongman status today. But it felt good. It felt good to be acknowledged. So y'all be good. Love people, man. Peace.